last week, didn't you? Yeah. I was here last week. Okay. Yeah, I just told you. I'll tell you all next week.
All right.
All right, cool.
Oh shit! It was my fault. It was my fault. I almost had us there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And 5, 4, 3, 2, and lose.
Well, welcome to the Sohigho Gas Company. We got the Sohigho Cannabis Show here on the Voice of Radio today in lovely Cleveland, Ohio. It's a great ass day out there. As usual, I got my main man EP on the boards with me today, Voice of Radio President, man. Always a pleasure, and I always like to give him his flowers for holding us down and giving us this platform. We appreciate it, no doubt. Here on the Sohigho Cannabis Show, we like to talk about information, cultivation, and legalization of the cannabis plant here in Ohio. So it's been a lot things going on in the law. So really, I think I'm gonna start a little bit with a little bit of what went on last weekend. EP, did you see the air show any, man? Like that is get high people's dream in Cleveland.
And they're real close to my house, flying right over my crib.
Bro, I mean, if you in Cleveland and the air show going on, they make you a participant. I don't give a shit, bro. They just was going crazy. But I took the free seats, which was littered on the highway. South Marginal was packed. Picnics jumping off. Ain't nobody paying to go. That's why I really wonder, why would you really pay to go to the air show? My boys was like, I ain't never gonna pay to go to the air show because it's in the air for free, man. Why would I pay to go for something that's for free? And that is his budget way. Is it?
That made no sense.
I mean, if you pay for a good parking spot, it went good. But everybody was respectable. The people was out. It was a kid-friendly event, and the cannabis smokers usually just fall back where the cigarette smokers are, and it's like really enjoyable time. And it was a I think barbecues was down. Like usually, I get invited to a few more Labor Day barbecues. I don't know why people wasn't really barbecuing a lot this weekend, but it was a lot packed in. The Mason brothers boxed in Toledo, the second oldest Mason brother, up in Toledo at the Huntington Center downtown. His brother had boxed there before and lit that joint on fire with a big baby up there, and
Did he win?
yeah, he got a majority. Decision, because the one guy said it was a draw. It was a 4-rounder. It was only his third fight, but it was. I'm gonna tell you one thing. Toledo comes out for boxing for whatever reason. It wasn't a humongous card, but let me tell you, EP. That was the thing to do in EP, in Toledo. You know what's really impressive about the Toledo crowd? It's like the youngsters up there get kind of dressed up a little bit, new kicks, new non-fighting gear, you know what I mean? Ain't nobody putting their new little fresh to death little stuff on. And the girls in the crowd are so knowledgeable about boxing that it's pretty amazing. I guess they can be with so much information now. And it was really a nice event up there. So I popped up there for that, and then they had the Funny Feast thing over at Dunlap's with Ramon Rivas on Sunday, and TJ Macklin did his first little long extended set of comedy over there. So that's what went down here in the land for me this weekend. I was smoking pretty good and having a good time, but over here in the cultivation and the information, I definitely want to talk about some guys up in Michigan. I want to get them on the show, but I want to let you know, guys. They made a strain called Honey Banana. Honey Banana won. I think they won the Doink Master. I forgot which cup they won, but they won one of the more prestigious cups. I think they washed it all. That means washing in weed terms mean they turned it into bubble hash and they made wax out of it. Basically, is what they did. So really wasn't a lot of flour, but these guys is talking about how good the flour is. If you smoking good, if you smoking good wax, it came from some fire ass flour. And some people would definitely rather roll that stuff up than put it in a puffco or light it in wax. But they have some interesting takes. And when I first got on this show, I was absolutely anti Athena. Athena to me was a good product, and I thought it was more chemically than they said it was. But We the Growers guy is the guy behind this, and he said they resourcing all natural ingredients for Athena. And to me, when we ran FFMC, it just had weak bud structure. It make a big knuckle at the bottom of it, but up north around us, if you outdoors, it'll get blown over in the wind. I don't even know. We started it in cocoa, then we went outdoors to finish it, and it just wasn't good bud structure. To me, it was missing some calcium, magnesium. In my opinion, I think it was just short on CalMag. It just wasn't. I don't know. It's just those stems like snapped off. But they have been running Athena, and they ran a honey banana, which won this cup, in Athena, and they are on there talking revolutionary stuff and growing with basically hydro. They just put in 2 inputs and letting it run. They are basically, what I'm saying is they have cut down all of the extra everything. They not adding no more amendments, nothing. They getting 2 products, maybe 3 products. I think it's A and a B and a perfect. And usually you got to get that perfect, because the perfect is going to take care of any disease, or it's just usually like a booster. I don't know. It's part of the companies that they sell it all of the time. Even Heavy 19, which the blind guy, blind bug coordinator grew with, which is a quality product, because I tasted that. And back in the day, I mean, you want to say that like a year or 2 ago, Athena, I could taste Athena weed. I promise you I could. I could tell you anyway, it was a finish at the end of it that was just, I want to say it could have been the grower not curing right, but it had this carbony taste. And the more we smoke and the more knowledge we get, I've tasted that in people's wax too. And I would tell you, like, I'm Gelato from Lamb Chops in Michigan, and these guys up there at Grow Pains, they should know who these guys are. When they first started waxing, we was at the Ream Fest, and when they first started washing that stuff, it had this carbony finish. But the more I grow myself, and the more we say these things, I could see that same taste that I would have said that was in Athena. But it could have not even been Athena or any of that. It could have been that grower not queuing actually right, not taking the time. Because we even in the short year or 2 since we've been growing, we have came a long, long way. And to sit here to think that you can run Athena, which is probably the most, it's like the Walmart. I ain't gonna say the Walmart. I don't want to diss my man's product, but they always show up. But they got a big budget. They making this shit in the tank loads. They not no plans. This ain't no homeboys mixing up some shit in their daddy's basement. They a big ass company, a chemical company. They getting this shit professionally produced, and they mass marketing this. So it has to be good. So I'm always, as much as the guys on We the Growers and up here in Michigan is keeping the culture more on a traditional market, as in, you need to know somebody to get these good genetics, but it's almost like they selling out to the man a little bit. Athena is a big player in this, but if you growing good weed and the product is what your people like, it don't make a difference what we growing with. A Luna all day, nobody gonna beat that natural dirt. I mean, you smoke them both, and if you gotta be honest with yourself, because I would love to get these guys on. I would love to get Seth and his partner onto the show out of Growing Pains out of Michigan, in Paw Paw, Michigan. I like to go up there and visit their farm and check them out and like go. I went to Made by Farmers up there, but I definitely want. I sent a reach out to them so we can hopefully get back in touch with each other and see about maybe going up to Michigan and getting some fall footage up there. Also, I ain't gonna. So I hope we do it before the fall. I like to go right now when it's booming before it's cut down time. I like to be up there like right now because it should be everything outdoors should be producing, so it should be real good. But growing strictly with Athena, that's just letting you know right off the bat they growing indoors. I don't have a lot of experience with Athena indoors except for my man Ben out at the Chagrin Valley Growth Store. He was on Athena real bad. I mean, he's serious about it. He hand watered and cocoa core in Athena, and hands down, he grew the biggest plants from the same genetics we both grew. It definitely, listen, if you growing commercial, I'll tell you hands down, flat out, you should grow hydroponically. Period. It's gonna grow bigger yield, quicker time, and you'll be drying it before you know it. You grow in dirt, and absolutely, it has. To me, it's a different taste. You know, people not flushing these guys on here. That when I say we talking about some revolution, we're gonna get into some of their processes that they talking about with this Athena. But if you want to talk about quickness, it's gonna be hydro hands down. You're gonna go old school DWC, um, drip table, hydro, however you want to go about whatever hydro system you're going to be pouring salts. And that's even an old terminology now, too. Because pouring salts was just all salt derivative, chemical based stuff. But now, like Athena is saying, they're sourcing all natural um, ingredients for it. So, sourcing all natural ingredients and you just pouring the liquid nutrients right on there, it's just got to be the most fabulous way to go about it, and you're gonna be quicker to the thing. Growing in dirt, you got other things you have to worry about. You got to keep the dirt happy. You do more feeding of the dirt than you do of the plant, in my opinion. But the product is, I mean, it's like light. I ain't gonna say light years. My preference would be probably dirt, but I can even say that. I can't even say that all the way because it's going to be, my preference is going to be genetics. And if you growing something good in genetics, on this series, when they talking about we the growers, when they on there, they talking about different things, doing different different strains and different genetics acting different. That's just going to be hands down across the board. So the best thing for you to do is usually just take somebody who grew it the same way that you liked it to be grown and just imitate them and then make changes to them. But you probably still should experiment. And if you say somebody got you get some cuttings from somebody or some clones from somebody and they grew it in dirt and you grow it in hydro, that thing might go crazy in hydro or vice versa. We have did it both ways and they responded different. What is so very interesting about these guys is you cannot even believe this. As much as we talk about the LED lights and how easy that is to grow with, and that's so popular putting LED lights in tents, these guys is back on high pressure sodium lights. And that's like, in a way, I can understand that because high pressure sodium lights it used to be the biggest color spectrum, but it used to cost so much because the ballast used to be so loud, so much heat, and it just wasn't efficient. You used to have to, everybody who grew weed back in the day used to fake like they had a music studio so they could justify that high ass electric bill because almost every light you added to high pressure sodium back in the day added $100 to your electric bill if you was growing, 2 or 3 months, 3 month run, 4 month run back then under lights. Yeah. So it was like for 4 months you was paying an extra shit. You probably was running. I don't know how big the house was. That's another thing. how big is the basement? That whole thing probably had about 8 to 10 lights in it, and a couple bedrooms upstairs, probably at least 4 or 6. It was that. That's how people used to. I mean, that's when we used to rent from, out in the woods, and how big is the basement was for real. Uh, how you got that season off, and that was high pressure sodium. Growing under high pressure sodium in new chemicals, this Athena is something absolutely crazy. But if they get to this cup and this weed made it through this wax cup, it's got to be good, and you can't even find it. If everything they saying was true, when they put it in the dispo, people couldn't get no more onions or even 3.5. They couldn't get an eighth of it. And they had put pre-rolls out, and dude went and bought all the pre-rolls out. That's how good this honey banana is. And they got that cut from somebody else. But what they're saying is, because they take so much care in the way they grow their plant, I don't even think, as much as they was doing a commercial for Athena, it was also the way they care for their plants also, and I mean that too. My best plants I ever grew was the ones in my bedroom all the time. The ones I slept with has always been my best and my favorite, to be honest with you. Not all the time, but some of they babies that left from there. A couple times the babies that left out my bedroom, the last couple runs, that was some of my favorite ones. The clones I sent out into the world to keep. It was actually unicorn poop. Those babies from that one did good, but they just talk about how much care you have to give, and that's what you have to, when you're dealing with this plant. It is about your inputs. It is how much you love it. It is certain things that you could just set it and forget it, but you do need to trim up the bottom of it. That plant is competitive. A good friend is growing up to the lights and definitely got to super crop it. I mean, you really ain't been in your garden a lot. A lot of people don't top early. You gotta like pay a little bit of attention to it. I know it's been in summer, and we going into fall, and it's more indoor growing, but it only takes like about 10-15 minutes a day. For me, I used to give it about 10-15 minutes. Set a plan, and just give it a little bit of attention. It's worth your time. But the most important thing that all of these guys are saying, and it's just going to always ring true, and that's going to be genetics, genetics, genetics. Do not start with, you can't start with no bullshit. And it's just like, you can't just get, EP can't say, I found these seeds in my pants pocket from 1988. Why don't you grow these? Will it grow? Yeah, probably. Will it be some good weed? Probably not. I don't see why you take a risk down in the eight, and you could get good seeds right now, EP, for $8 and $10 from reputable growers. So why you invest $30, and I bet you at least two of those will grow, right? If two out of the three grow, you lucky, right? You get two of them that you know that's a female. Grow one like you ready to smoke it as soon as it get done. The other one, you make it into a mother plant. You leave it in bed, and you could just take clones off of that. It's that easy. And then you make another garden right after that. And then you got a $20 investment, but you got a garden with strong genetics that you're gonna get used to growing. Then you just go see somebody else who's growing the same way. They should only just grow one thing and good at growing one, maybe two things. And it's it's much more easier. And then you could just, soon as that one set is done, then you should have another set right out of coming back into veg right behind it. It's so easy to follow some plans like that it's easy to keep a garden going from new seeds, and that you should go over to indoor gardens. What's my other people off Denison? The Grow Wizard off Denison. They've been over there forever. All of these people got seeds. Do you know that most smoke shops go over to the Hippie House, even though they didn't give us no sponsorship deal? They got seeds in there, so it's not even hard for you to get good seeds, and it's the most legalist, most the best weed you're gonna get here in Ohio probably is gonna be the weed that you grow. Hands, it's not even close. It's not even a close estimate. Dispo weed is secondary to Michigan weed by a long shot. So the best weed you're gonna get in Ohio is somebody growing it hands down because they got good genetics and they know what they're doing. And it is something about growing weed this high on the longitude line. Michigan is way out ahead of us, and because they are higher up, I promise you, their yield is gonna be higher than ours. But we not. It's not bad here. We are real good, but Ohio don't want us to be competitive. They won't. We don't have no outdoor gardens, and these guys up in Michigan, it's just prototyping how to go about being a monster in the industry. All we got to do is take what they did good, what didn't work good for them, and then we could just apply it right to us. We got the same climate, but we're just different down here. It's just very, very hard on getting through some of these legal things. It just came about in the legal part of things. We just came up with joints in the dispensary, and they already sold out. We talked about this a little bit last week, but guess what? No infused. It's just not for a recreational patient. I mean, you might as well say recreational patient. That's a good terminology for Ohio dispo weed. It is medical weed it's medical weed that's sold to recreational users, and I'm sure it hit the right spot for some smokers. I bet you people look at me like I'm crazy when they say this is the best stuff I ever had. I don't know what you're talking about, and if it fits you and your chemistry right, I understand that. More power to you, because it is different strokes for different folks. But in general, it's grown with so much other stuff. It has to go through so much regulation to get to medical that it takes away from what a traditional weed smoker, marijuana smoker will be looking for, which is THC. When we growing weed, we selecting. If you grew a plant and it said it was like, I don't know, 22, 23%, and it was like 12%, and it looked pretty, it smelled good and all that, but if it was boof, why would you grow it again? You wouldn't. You would kill it off. I'm serious. That's just how it is. It's just competitive, and we like that. You got to get the people what they want, and 21 to 23%, and it is some 17s and 19s, some weeds that came back with great flavor, a little more terpenes, a little more of the stuff that you might not think you like, and that's in these plants, like the CBDG, CBDN. CBDG is not even bad, because that's part of the uptake that help you get higher, especially CBDG in edibles. I would be looking for an edible with a certain amount of CBDG in it if you really want to be technical about it. That's from a more, definitely a technical side of things, where if you just a recreational user, or you trying to go to Taylor Swift concert, you just gonna pop that 50 milligrams and let her rip tater chip. But what are we gonna say on every show? I would be remiss to tell you that you have to be careful eating gummies and marijuana. I'm going to say it. If I'm coming on this air, you have to be careful. You cannot eat that. I just said if you pop 50 and go to Taylor Swift, you need to be experienced. You need to be at least past EP's level at minimum. Miss Mickey is another person that can actually eat a decent amount of weed. And Miss Kathy, hell no. No. Give her a corner of the corner, and she'll be over here sweating and having a and Miss Mickey will be popping them like now ladies already. And she really not a super heavy smoker at all. And it's different strokes. Now EP, if it's I don't know, if it's intoxicating, I don't know, he down. He just won't stop. And I have graduated to I use it for medicine sometimes so much that I don't like to take the effects of pain relief and controlling some of my anxiety that I can't smoke recreational, but certain parts of the day. I really don't care to smoke recreational because I just want to have some peace in my life and not be anxious, not living in the future. And that's for me. That's not for everybody. And it took me some time and a whole bunch of trips to the psychologist to know what's good for me. And that's working for me. So it's different strokes for different folks. So if you're getting high off the weed out of the dispo, and they're giving you a good price, which they're not, the problem with that is it's not fresh weed. That's the biggest problem. Is it's just too long from plant to your to your lungs. Dispensary weed has a whole process to get to. I mean, that's the whole thing. And when it sit around there and it roll around in that bag, that's not optimal. If it was really optimal, they would keep it at a climate control, 60% humidity, 67, 66 percent humidity, and probably about 60 degrees temperature, and then give it to you to be used within 2-3 months. Other than that, it should be vacuum sealed under some of the similar conditions, or just washed down into bubble hash. I think that's going to last the longest. Freeze dried bubble hash probably is going to be the best storage of that. Is very interesting on the extract processes over the years also, and Ohio just being kind of prudish with us. They will not let you have recreational style cannabis. I mean, I guess everybody here in Ohio ain't bad because we got to be selling no, I guess every place would. You think Swishers and Raps is all over the place though when you say EP. I mean, that's just culturally how you smoke, because there's just as many white guys smoking Swishers these days too though. Nah, think about it. I don't even know. Like, they sell more wraps in the gas station than I don't ever see nobody. You shouldn't be buying gas station weed anyway, but I don't see nobody really buying that stuff. But I don't see them Indians and the people that I don't see the gas station owners really caring about what they selling, but they do sell all kinds of wraps and everything like that. So it's different strokes on how you want to roll that up. But be careful when you're doing that too. Don't get no nicotine products in with your weed, because that's a double trap. You don't want to be trapped on a nicotine paper and you got a weed issue or something like that too. And that's another thing I like to always say too. I know this is a cannabis show, but part of this radio station is funded by the Adams Board. And if you do have some drug problems or other issues with substance abuse, definitely check that shit in. It's not for everybody. I absolutely know some people who is not good. Every time they smoke weed, they have a psychotic ass episode that get them a red card. If you don't know what a red card is, that's when you have a mental breakdown. They send your ass down to Columbus somewhere, and you in the loony bin basically for 3 or 4 days till they figure you all right, or you make somebody happy enough to let you out of that shit. And usually a red card means they get you for 3 days, but because of insurance, they probably gonna keep you for 30, 40 days. And it's not like really it's voluntary. It's like voluntold your ass. Once you say you're gonna hurt yourself or do some things like that, you gotta go check that in. So be careful. I know some people, if their chemistry is not for it, please don't do it. Seek some help. It's not for everybody, but you should be going low and slow, like we always say. Start with a low dose and take your time, especially with any edibles, drinks, even the canned pops in the stores now. Even though that's like weak as hell, man. You ever had that THC drink at the bar? They used to try to sell that thing for like $14 or $15 or something. Like it was like a dime bag of weed, but that thing didn't get you. That was like Reggie at best, and it was like garbage. It wouldn't even get you high, really, in my opinion. It just wasn't good. But now it seems like the price is going down on it. But a lot of people got infused drinks now, and I know Coca Cola and Pepsi had a license to do it. I don't know if they ever would, but they did have a license. Well, we'll see. The real issue is you should just change this drug to a class, to a schedule 3 product though, but they won't because it's still a Schedule 1. Weed is still looked at as the same light federally as cocaine, heroin, and all of that. And you trying to tell me all these states in the union went across with that, and then they don't. They still gonna consider it a Schedule 3. It must be some money behind that too, though. But I know we're gonna have some talking about that out on October 3rd through yeah, it's gonna be October 3rd and 4th, Friday and Saturday, October 3rd and 4th, out at the IX Center from 10 a.m. to 5 a.m. the Ohio Cannabis Health and Business Summit with my man Lenny B. Hopefully he'll be on here in a week or two. I know he's always so busy, but it's a 2-day summit. Hopefully we should be able to be broadcasting live from there. I would love to do Hotness in the E. I don't know if they can handle us. I, I know they could, but I think the crowd might be. I'm not worried about the event people.
Just have to be good. Not adapt.
I gotta see that because like we'll be in like a booth, you know what I'm saying? Like it was a lot of people podcasting, right? It was a lot of people out there doing interviews and people coming by and giving interviews. But we did have mess in the evening after that be wild. But I'm definitely gonna set up Sohigho a little bit so we can get some good information and get a table out there. So the Ohio Cannabis Health and Business Summit, it's a conference. And I'm trying to tell you, when it started out, it was about patient advocacy and it was a lot of education from the medical standpoint. And in that vein, the information that you want to get from here, this is the premier networking event in, say, this region of the country. So I'm going to say all the way Midwest. I'm going to say all the way over to, from, I don't know what's going on in New England with a conference like this, but for the Midwest, if you're in Indiana, Michigan, Pennsylvania, any place that's touching Ohio, Kentucky, you should be at this event because it sell out every year. As far as vendors and the amount of traffic that comes through there is outstanding. And why you as a person, as a regular consumer, should you go? Is because your grab bags is gonna be, I don't know what it's gonna cost to get in. I think you gotta pay like $27.78 to get in for one day. But I promise you, you're gonna leave with a bag full of goodies that's it's gonna outdo that $27.78. And if you got a couple of nickels in there, every time when you have conferences and things like this, it's always promo stuff and promo prices. So it's just a good place that you, if you wanna know about cannabis, the cannabis industry, and really what you really have to look up is the who's gonna be talking. It's always packed full of educators and workshops, which is the best thing. So you could pick which day you want to go, and then you can you should just pick up on some classes if you want to. If you want to get into retail, so say EP wanted to start up a dispensary, it'll be people there. I just looked at their cars right there too, and it's a black couple out of Columbus, Ohio, that's giving purpose loans just for the cannabis industry. So if this is somewhere where you want to be in the industry, JT ain't got no money for you to be doing no like that. I wish I was that rich, but it is people there in financing. That was one of the more impressive things. It's people there for insurance. If you got a dispensary and regular Blue Cross and Blue Shield won't give you no regular insurance on things like that, that is that is a place for you. You should definitely be at this conference right here. I'm looking at the panels right now. I mean, it's just so many, so many good panelists in every field. Like when I talked to the guy from Canatrol, who's the best, one of the best drying. They put installs in big drying. They cut the curing process down. They really want to patent the curing process down real tight. So they was there last week. If you want to, like, you want to start a retail store, if you own a smoke shop or a retail shop, you want to be there. You want to see the new products in your face. You want to see demonstrations of them. As a consumer, you want to know who's carrying these products. Why don't you have this? Why don't we have that? This is this type of industry party. And I mean, the parking lot be litty lit too. You know what it is, though. It is like I say, besides the atmosphere and all of the information there, I gotta say, hands down, going to these seminars and learning something that you don't know is one of the best things Lenny could do. And we gotta support our own, man. Lenny B and his wife and his team, Cleveland's own, just a force in MJ Biz Com too. That's another national event, but this one right here is such a good one at the IX Center. So that's why I'm really big on Sohigho's gonna be showing up for them, and they are taking care of us. So shout out to OCHBS. Sign up and check us out on that's gonna be the October 3rd and 4th. It's gonna be a higher level. So I think I'm gonna take a small little break and then come back, if you can tell, take a little bit of a pause, and then I'm gonna come back with one more segment, and then we're gonna wrap this thing up and get back to it. I know I usually kick off the Tuesday power block, but man, I might be kicking the Tuesday power block. But we're gonna get this together. We're gonna take a little small, quick, little. We gather ourselves for a second and then get right back at it in 2 to 3 seconds soon, my man. Give me my high sign cue. We'll be got you too. That's why I say, yeah, I don't think we be in a radio station. We really at the voice of radio station, man. Shout out to my man EP, Hot Mess in the Evening crew, Al Porter's hip hop workshop. Conversations with Keith, Cat's Corner, man. We got the East End Neighborhood House. They got another couple shows here. So, and if you always looking for a great studio with a great quality professional RAM board, most of the time we got our commercials going. So good. My man EP, as always, look him up. Earl Porter on Facebook. Is one. Shout out to my Facebook people too, man. We're gonna take a little quick one, and we'll be right back.
This is Al Porter. That's Al Porter Jr. from Al Porter's Hip Hop Workshop, heard only on voiceatradio.com.
Yeah.
And if you or you know someone who's
Yeah.
with drug addiction, gambling, suicide, feel free to call the Adams Board. That's the Adams Board at 216-623-6888. That's 216-623-6888. Or go to the website of www.adamhscc.org. That's www.adamhscc.org.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Oh yeah. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Sohigho broadcast.
Hey, you over here for some rain, homie?
I don't care who this nigga over here.
Here
He
on
don't tell me
Voice
where
of
he's from.
Radio.
It's a rap. I'm sorry.
We talk about cannabis information, cultivation, and legalization here in the state of Ohio. In our last little segment, we're going to talk about these here pre-rolls here in pre-rolls in the dispensary, man. You tried them yet? Don't nobody go to the dispensary around here, man. They say smoke them if you got them. You can now buy pre-roll joints in the Ohio dispensary. Like, that's really going to bolster. I don't know, it's still such a sterile environment. It's going to be sealed. You can't even smell it. I mean, I guess it's not like you could really smell pre-rolls really anyway, like that. The whole bag stinks like that. But I don't really see that big of a deal. And it's just the way we pass out weed is here in Ohio is so different than everywhere else that it's just way different, though. I mean, we just I don't know why we just don't go up to Michigan and take a little bit of, get the people what they want and quit being so prudish about it and get that tax money up. The citizens in Ohio and the cannabis user happily keep the product here. We such homers. Don't nobody want to be going up there and we get it from here. But I'm not even saying that. The whole cannabis community, whoever got the best, they just got the best. That's just what it is. It's going to take care of itself. And I'll tell you, I'm the first one to tell you the city up north up there, they had the best wax. I haven't met the Ohio washer that's getting as good as Michigan. Lamb chops connoisseurs, Delato, I can't even think of my one people, Superior. Man, these people all went legitimate. They used to be underground, and now they like washing big time, and they taking advantage of it, and they did it grassroots, and they came up. So that's another thing why you still should be growing, because if you're growing in your house and you find out you got a passion for this thing and you can take care of good plants, everybody can. Everybody don't have whatever that is that plants like to grow around them. But if you do like it and plants like you and it's not like work, you might be the person for this industry because it's going to top out. Whoever's got the best is always going to go to the top. These guys, I don't care what we talking about when we talking about smokability is still number one. We be talking about trichomes, THC, and all of this. The reality of it is, if you could roll up a joint and that shit tastes good, that's gonna be like 90% of the people that smoke. And it's still, smoking wax is such a, especially at the connoisseur level, it's such a niche thing that I'm sure like 25% of the cannabis smokers have did a dab, and I bet you 75% don't even know what you're talking about. And then to be to the upper echelon, some solventless rosin, not resin, you really know what you're doing. So to even get there, it take a lot of studying and knowing what you're doing, getting a good rig and all of these things to even know what you're doing before you figure out you smoking booth. You smoking some, I don't know, some BHO shatter, which it could be some good BHO shatter, but probably not. But good flower, just a good chronic with good genetics that get you high. When you say when these guys up there was trapping 3,200 pounds They was very good weed, and then it got commercial down a little bit. So just good flower is always gonna be the way to go, man. But we appreciate everybody tuning in, man. Thank y'all so much for stopping by, and always you can tap in at me at sohigho216 at gmail.com. We got some great things coming up for you. Some things with Brown Horse Cider coming up. We're gonna have appreciation dinner off in December too, in place of the turkey jam. So y'all, let's look out for those things. Also, like I said, if you looking for a podcasting home with a great studio with a great atmosphere, hit me, EP up. Earl Porter over on Facebook is a good way to get to him. Don't forget to check out our upcoming shows on the T. That's gonna be good. And usually in the evening, you can check me out as the Weed Man on Hot Mess in the evening. I don't know if we got it all together today, so we're gonna see. If not, check out our reruns on that thing. And as usual, you know, y'all gotta like, share, and do all of that good stuff for us. And we're gonna check y'all out next time. And like my good friend EP always said, smoke weed so you don't punch somebody in the face. Thank y'all.